Trapped by me. I am everywhere. I feel trapped, uncomfortable, little, judged by my family, emotions, and my power being. I choose to be here, but I still feel guilty, little, controlled, ignored, and ridiculed. But I can do anything. I can go anywhere. I can do whatever. But I still feel like I get shut down. Broken glasses. My object is clear and circular. It helps me see, but it also makes me blind without it. It's also rough in some parts, like my life. Keeps breaking on me, but I always figure out how to put it back together when I get anxious, PTSD, and depression, or drink. It has no sound or taste, but just the smell of super glue that reminds me of my worst times and not my accomplishments. When I can't find my glasses, it leads to failure, mostly when I drink. I would like my life to be clear. So that's why I ordered a new pair. Mom, daughter. The rug and cradle board are very important to me. It reminds me that I'm a mom and that my grandma lived a full life and is still always there for me. They are both so pure that I don't know what I would do without them. They both shaped my life and made me successful in education and professionally. No one still understands my pain, but they are always there for me no matter the situation, and do not judge me for my flaws because they always see the good in me. She was lying in bed with a blanket around her neck, but she was sleeping so peacefully that I didn't want to wake her. Starting at her face, I told myself, I can't believe I made her, and thought, why is she so happy? When I struggle day by day, she's always by my side, loving me, helping and kind to me. Sometimes she lies for me. She makes my world brighter every day and is the only reason that I am still here on this earth today. Never in my mind would I leave her because I know it would hurt her beyond her core. To my surprise, I realized I could be a good parent, mom, provider. My fears and anxious mindset hold me back from what my life could have been or what was. I fear it will break me down due to pressure from my mind and others. I fear I will go back to the person I was last year, but also want to be successful for my daughter. The respect and trust is not there with my family anymore, but my overall goal is for me and my daughter to be happy. Letters. Dear current self, you have come a long way. I'm thankful that you decided to reach out and seek treatment. It may have been hard for you to understand how to manage your PTSD, anxiety, and depression, but I'm proud that you put your ego and pride aside, not only for you, but for your daughter as well. Thank you for saving our life when it was really hard. I hope that we never, ever have to go down that road again. It was a very scary time that we went through, as it was for everyone who loved you. Please keep attending class and therapy, and we will come out even better and become somewhat normal again. With love, your younger self. Dear current self, you are living happily, sober, and finally finished your MSW, so congrats. Your daughter has grown into a beautiful lady with a loving family. You tend to reminisce on how and why you were the way you were. You did not want to become part of the cycle, but you did. I'm proud you didn't fail when you could have so many times. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here writing you. You learned how to manage your anxiety, PTSD, and depression, and thanks to all of your therapists and case manager, as well as family support. So keep at it. You got this. With love from 2040 self. 3 gardens. 2000. Walking in my garden, I see myself growing, and I see much work still needs to be done. Still learning how to go through life by myself, and giving up a life where I am most comfortable is hard. But I know I can be successful at a young age. 2020. Walking through my garden today, I see a lot of growth, but I also see a lot of setbacks. There's still plenty of learning on my part to work on myself and as a parent. I see a lot of success with all of the flowers and the sunflowers blooming, but there are some places that clearly need some more work that I struggle with as a person and mom. 2040. Walking in my garden, it is clear and beautiful, like my life is now. I remember just seeing dirt and learning a lot of lessons along the way. Now I have overcome all of my obstacles and become successful. I have taken control back from all of the setbacks that have held me back. My garden is beautiful, with the water making it shiny. I can finally see clearly now. Free. Inside this world, I'm free. I can see the colors of life, happiness, taste it, and free of my own body and mind. I can touch my happiness with my fingertips. I can taste the freedom from all that holds me back. I can dance, talk, go places, drive my car, swim, run, be pain-free. I can see the happiness here. This is my true self and my inner child, just like my sweet daughter. I am free. I am loved. I am not scared. I can see, I can hear, and I can feel, and I'm a good mom again. I'm free.
Rainbow Dickerson, thank you so much for your beautiful reading. And I want to thank Sheila Begay for her beautiful writing. She wasn't able to be with us today, but without your writing, Sheila, this would not have happened. But I want to thank Rainbow, and I want to just let you say a few words, Rainbow, about how it felt when you first got this writing and how it was you were able to seem to tap into it so beautifully.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for that lovely compliment. And thank you, Sheila, for taking this journey and allowing me to kind of take it with you at the end. You know, when I first read her words on the page, I kind of sort of felt this connection sort of through the ethers. There were a lot of topics, a lot of actual literal words, and some of the artwork kind of harken back to my own life. I really identified with a lot of it. So when I first read it, it was actually very difficult for me to read it without weeping myself, and without really kind of going to places with her. So I don't know, there was just sort of an instant connection there. And particularly the last piece, Free, and the artwork that was created with it, you know, one of my given names translates to free, and my other name, you know, kind of is Rainbow. And so there was that in the artwork, and there was just a lot of things in there that that felt like me too. So it was very easy. It was very easy to kind of go there with her.
Well, thank you. And I think the power of this project and this process is that writers write from their heart. And as actors, we love to be able to connect from the heart. And you did that beautifully. And I'm so grateful that you arrived. And thank you again, Sheila, as Rainbow said, for taking this journey and for sharing it with us. And we are now going to go to the next piece. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I learned from the shorebirds how to wade. Time contracts as to a baseball above my head. I wear it as a water jug. Back from the garnet spring, where a mountain trembles, the turbulence. Round seconds. A mid-range hum. Perhaps the garage door closing after dusk as I lay awake, child in heat. After Mom hosed down the radiating driveway and the burdened summer air sponged it up. Rolled up and back to the place I first met myself. I ask him, can't you think long term for just a minute? But he turns away slovenly. So I turn around as one in the sand, follow the footprints before they're abducted by the day-hungry ocean. There's a dish in my chest. Trillions neutrinos crashing. Letters from the past and future. Dear Dane, it's a mess back here. I'm not even sure how much you remember. Think about the boat. Think about crawling down in the bilge to wipe up a penny-sized oil spill. This shit is nuts. Really, I'm drowning. I don't know how likely is my survival. This is why, despite my trouble, I am glad deep in my gut to know you made it out, and you found someone to honor with love. You don't realize how lonely I am here. Don't mind the haters. They don't know anything. Go ahead. Write the world. Signed, MM2B. Just a sec.
Mute.
Dear Dane, I'm telling you, though it's a bit unimaginable, I'm guessing, you have ripened. Your whole world has put on weight and ready to pluck from the vine. And it is juicy. Fat peach midsummer juicy. The things, the facts, I won't share because I know how squirrely you can get. But just know, keep it up and you'll be harvesting a bushel bigger than your eyes can take in. And you earned it. It's what you're doing now, investing in the kids, Kay's career, your practice. Keep it up. You'll have fond memories of this time. And do publish the book. Self-publishing on principle. It's kind of punk. Signed, DB, 2040.
Dialogue with notebook. You did it. I'm stuffed.
Was it okay?
You did great.
I feel like I'm always in need of someone else's approval.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's not really uncommon.
But what does that reflect on me?
Look, I know you're trying to do something here, but there's something you're missing. What you could accept is that it is in fact less work to rely on yourself.
So it's the easy way? Isn't that a cop-out?
No, you're trying too hard.
Can we change that easily?
It's up to you. Make it happen.
Starlight. She asked if a shooting star is actually a star. I said it's more like a meteor, but who cares? I'm in a tank. People stop by to ask how I'm doing. I always want to say it's a poultice because I think that's the most brilliant line in Plath, and I want to be able to pull it off myself. The sun, it's a poultice. Can you imagine? I wonder whether her corpse had wounds. Enrage me not. Right now I'm feeling a green field with some delicate forget-me-nots. That's the state flower somewhere, Alaska maybe. It could be my state flower. A crumb, a flake, a present on Easter. They grow like my limbs. I'm feeling a gown, queen, like I should rouge my cheeks and say it's in the fashion of medieval Chinese knights, the red-cheeked beast. I'm a peach. Catch and release, an exercise in hooks. Bait the hook. The view from the top of the mountain, an idyllic view. How can we speak of mountaintops now in this time of horizontality? Plutarch, the first modern mountaintop experience, what did he see differently than I, who can only think in terms of other pre-existing images? Society of spectacle. But this is wrong. Think happy, happy hiker, Smokey the Bear. Can we prevent the wildfires of the soul? With good forest maintenance, of course. The contention of a man with fire hair, fire orange face. Has he ever seen a mountaintop and described it with his own words? I'm thinking not, given I think his blood is nearly milk white with cholesterol. But he and I share that problem. Perhaps exercise. Set the hook. Jumping off the cliff, they're scared. And maybe they know why, but they're very unsure and feeling humiliated because it's like a birthday party where you end up naked, pantsed by their own father at much too old an age for such a thing. And maybe that's part one of the million tiny things that add up. Why they find themselves here now off the edge of a gruesome looking cliff and it's too late and they're forgetting everything good, even right up to the end. Release. Sometimes when I dream there is joy, a field of invisible wilderness where pieces are whole, two are one. Other times it's a darkness, a terrible or terrific, which is it? Blanket of decay or something worse, the weight of a body. And my body approaching the event of a black hole where nothing returns. The density of dead stars making some twisted kind of love. Sometimes when I dream I can't breathe. Sometimes the air is clear as diamond and the lungs fill with light. I don't want to think about dreams. I usually try to forget them, but there's something else. Sometimes when I dream, I am not alone and a whole cloud of saints celebrate my arrival. Sometimes I am gone.
Coda. Now. I flick off the light, click, and my body just moves. The weight of his body is not light, but it's not burdensome. The room is dark when I slide the curtains closed. They sort of hiss. The sound machine hums, and my eyes have not yet adjusted. He grunts, which means sing. He is the commander and holds my arm with one hand and the far side of my neck with the other. His head finds a nook in my shoulder to rest and he goes limp. My voice feels full. It's a vibration of the core. I sing soft but strong. That's what they say, right? Be gentle but firm. I lay him down, pat, pat on his back like a sheepskin drum.
Okay, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dane, for those extraordinary words. And I was with you when you wrote them, and I read them as you wrote them, but I had no idea how they sounded. And so, Chris, thank you for bringing everything you brought to this. And I just want to ask you, Dane, how did that feel to hear that for the first time, like this way?
It was wonderful. I, I feel light and happy, and it feels great.
Thank you, thank you. Chris, what about you? How was that? Because you two are sort of the same age and you both have little people in your lives. How was it to read these stories?
It was beautiful. It's so nice to read text that is real, that comes from someplace real, and it tells a story without trying too hard. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's easy to inhabit because it comes from a real person. It's really nice.
So thank you. And Dane, thank you again. And I really hope that you continue to create and publish and produce your work. And if ever you want us to read it again, just give us a call. We'd be happy to read it again.
Cool.
So thank you very much. Blessings, take care. And we're going to go on with the show. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kate.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Dane.
Jungle cookies. Take my shoes off. Catch the bar. Spill them out. Plastic. Bright blue and yellow. Painted. Jungle cookies.
Surprise! He was putting his shoe on, but something stopped it. A hissing sound emanated from the shoe. His big toe felt a warm, expanding, contracting mass through his sock. What the fuck? He quickly retracted his entire foot out of the shoe. He peered inside the shoe. Another hiss, and out of the shoe popped the head of the snake. Its forked tongue darted in and out of its mouth, its beady eyes tracking Jim's every move. Oh my God! Initially frozen with fear, Jim freaked out, suddenly reeling backwards, dropping the shoe, and flipping over with his feet encircling his head, landing on the other side of the bed. The snake slithered out of the shoe, then recoiled, its tail sounding like beans in a jar. It's a rattler, all right. The Bumplemoach.
I reside on the top of your foot. I've made a home here. I know I'm hideous to look at, but you can't just cut me out of your life. What do you think of when you look at me? I'm getting that you're not okay with the memories I provoke from you. Tell me about them.
How can I ever be okay with a cigarette burn that was inflicted on me during a gang rape in the Air Force? How can I look at you and be okay? You didn't even have the decency to heal properly. You created a huge mass of scar tissue that pushes against my shoe.
I was infected.
I want my foot back, to look normal again. I want to wear flip-flops and not be ashamed of this bumble moach on my foot. So yes, I want you cut off. I don't want to keep looking at you.
You know, I just reacted that way. It wasn't a choice I made. I deserve to be accepted for what I am. It's not easy being disfigured and rejected. I can't take away what happened by disappearing.
Like I said, I just want my foot to look normal again. A thin white line would not be as noticeable. You've taken over the top of my foot.
I get it. However, I'm not the monster. It was the monsters that created me that should be cut out and dissected. Like Frankenstein, I'm misunderstood.
I agree. If I could chop them up into little pieces and hang their meat out for vultures to pick at, I would, but I can't. I don't know who they were or why they did what they did. It was just pure evil.
I'm not evil. I'm the surviving tissue of a traumatic injury. I'm sorry I pushed against your shoe and made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry I'm hideous to look at. I will willingly be excised. I pray that the new tissue heals properly. I wish you no harm or unhappiness.
Thank you for understanding. I love you because you're a part of me, but I accept that I cannot accept your appearance and discomfort, and therefore I'm eliminating you. I would like to keep you in a little box once we're separated to pull out and look at when I want to. I'm sorry that they will have to send you off to the lab for analysis.
I think we should have a goodbye party to do a proper termination. What do you think?
The scar.
I'm not a bumblemoach on your foot anymore. You have cut me out.
Yeah, now I have a divot. You're a dent in my foot, a cavity. Why did you have to heal so weirdly? You couldn't have just been a straight white line. That is what I intended.
I'm not perfect. Yes, a dent. You still have to care for me, spraying me with disinfectant and keeping me clean so dirt won't get into me. I'm a reminder of your past. I will never go away. I was once a cigarette burn and then a thick bumplemoach. Now I have transformed. The absence of a bumplemoach is a whole. You're too much of a perfectionist. Just accept me the way I am. If you haven't noticed, the rest of your body is far from perfect.
I hate you. I wanted you to be a thin line, barely noticeable, so I could forget about you. Why do you have to keep reminding me of a time when I was powerless and helpless? I wish I could find a positive note to end on. I'm not sure there is one. The mask. When I walk into the store and see people wearing masks, this is what I feel. I'm angry because of all of the incompetence in the medical field. Wearing the mask put into practice with no scientific basis behind the action, people follow blindly without question. I've been hurt by the ignorance and the inability of the medical system to properly treat or handle my condition. For years, it's been all about medication and more medication. I received label after label without any true understanding of the root of my problem. Medical authorities told me to take medication that would make me better. I gained over 100 pounds. My body is toxic from medication. But I was still hurting, still in pain, and unable to articulate what I had been through, the trauma that haunted my psyche. I could not connect the dots on my own simply because the way my mind dealt with the trauma was to deny it. It didn't really happen. But why then was I suffering? Not until I learned about what military sexual trauma was, the denial was penetrated. Only then could I even begin to deal with what happened to me. 30 years after I was gang raped, with the right kind of help, I was finally able to say the word rape. That's what happened to me. Several rapists attacked, tortured, and raped me. I was 22 years old and still a virgin. I was hit on the head, knocked out, and came to briefly. What I remember was blurred because of my head injury. The men laughed and tortured me with cigarette burns. I had a huge scar on my foot from one of the burns that became infected. The men spilled and covered my body in motor oil. I have no idea why. My hair was matted with blood and stuck to the carpet when I became conscious. I'm angry, enraged, sad, frightened, overwhelmed when I think about what happened to me. Sometimes I throw up. Sometimes I feel panicked. Sometimes I feel like I can't take another bad moment in my life and I just want everything to end. I have been in survival mode for so long. I haven't developed relationships with men. I never had children. Why would I bring a child into the world where something like this could happen? I was finally able to process my experience and wrap my head around it. I wrote a book about my experience. I want to help others who might have had similar experiences. I want people to understand how rape can affect someone so that maybe they will be able to help instead of label and throw pills in their direction, not helping them through the process of healing, but adding on more burdens. Well-intended ignorance is just as harmful as knowledgeable malice. I'm tired of wearing a mask to cover up my rage. I want to be heard.
The wall. The wall in my room, although smooth to touch, has a wood wave pattern on it. There is one in front of me, the size of my fist. It has a darker brown center and curvy lines emulating out from the center globe. Almost like dropping a rock in a still pond and the waves expand outward. It has a patternless pattern of random frequencies. The center almost looks like a fetus in a womb. It kicks and sends out vibrations. Looking at this, I'm reminded I will never have that experience. I feel sad, yet relieved. The cat. I took a deep breath in. The cold air rushed into my nostrils. I opened my eyes. The light shining between the slats of my window blinds pierced my visual field, and I squinted. I felt a warm, furry body pressing against my hand. Mew! I was filled with warm connection. Pet me, he said. The loneliness in my heart disappeared. I slowly picked up my hand, still with sleep heaviness, and began to stroke the soft gray fur. He wiggled and squirmed underneath my palm and raised his butt in the air. My palm closed around his long appendage tail, and I traveled along the fuzzy round length of it. He turned around, and I got a blast of fish breath in my face. Mew!
Inhabitants. Home to earthlings, thousands, like algae, wet, yin, fit into caves, changing and moving, direction, full force, bright yellow, light, transparent, warm, useful like horseshoes.
Helicopter nurse. The view from the top of the mountain was spectacular. The helicopter landed in such a scenic location. She had no time to admire the landscape. Her team had received a 911 call. There was a 35-year-old man here who had been bitten by a snake and fell 30 feet down the cliff. His friend had called and given a location. She looked around intently and saw a young man frantically waving a yellow shirt flagging the team. The team took their equipment and rushed over to the spot where the injured man lay. He was on the ground, broken from the fall, and toxic from the snake venom. She reached his side. She noted the peculiar angle of his left leg. She breathed in sharply. That's a bad break. Judging from the rapid rate of his respirations, weak and tready pulse, low blood pressure, she knew he was experiencing extreme pain and quickly going into shock. Inside, she was frantic, pleading to Jesus to save the man's life. She picked up the receiver to the physician on the line and calmly and professionally described the situation to the doctor. She started fluids, gave the medication, and monitored his vital signs. She continued to work to stabilize the man and monitored him through the transportation. It was her job. She did everything that she was trained to do. After arriving at the hospital and bringing the man up to the intensive care unit, she decided to take a few minutes in the parking lot and sat in her car. The tears welled up and she started to sob. Happy Nurses Day. Happy Nurses Day. What does that mean? I spent 30 years of caring for other people. I loved being a nurse. But what was left for me after 30 years? I have adrenal burnout, chronic back pain, chronic depression, and a capacity to repress my feelings. Would I do it all over again? Yes, I would. It was something I wanted to do. It also paid me enough to take care of myself and my family members. The care of others is hardwired into me. Even as a child, I would take my blocks and pretend that they were magical sprays. I would spray them around my dad when he got sick. Not many people wished me a happy Nurses Day. At the hospital, like Brotman, they would just throw a cold slab of pizza in your direction and say, Happy Nurses Day. And then we go back to work and take care of our patients.
The feather. A light, carefree, wispy tickler with fluffy strands of tweaky fiber reaching out from the center. soaring to great heights, seeing the view of the world. Now stuck on a shelf among pens and pencils. My kind used to be a pen in the golden days, but no more. Living vicariously through the others, hoping to catch a glimpse of creative writing. This one is about me. Ecstatically brushing the keys of the computer, wiping away the dust, floating down to the floor, picked up, placed back with my cohorts of pens and pencils. Letter number 1. Wild Child. Playground, USA, June 27th, 1970. Dear Heidi, thank you for not being successful with all of our suicide attempts. Thank you for listening to people that try to help you. Thank you for reaching out and taking a risk, trusting others. Despite the horrible medications that made you gain weight, you are still here to give your message to people. The message one can survive. One can continue to function despite the odds, despite the abuse and attacks, despite being misunderstood and mislabeled. You are here to continue on for a while. You didn't destroy us out of your grief. You persevered, and we are here, alive. What will you do with the rest of your life? What is it that you want to achieve? We have achieved so much, but now we're in a place and time where healing is an option and sharing is valued. Love, Wild Child. What is death? When are we going to die?
According to our astrological chart, at age 62 in an accident. Nobody really knows when they're going to die.
I don't want to die. Thinking about it makes me feel sad.
It's just a transition, like a snowman. A snowman doesn't go away. It just changes form. A solid snowman, melting, it turns into liquid. Evaporating, it turns into vapor, gas, or moisture in the air. Recycling it all over again when it snows.
Ooh, that's cool. What will I turn into?
Your soul will be released from your container or body. The yin energy goes into the earth and the yang energy goes up into the stratosphere. You will be experiencing other dimensions and levels of being and perhaps be recycled back to earth into another body.
How do you know that? Will I be recycled back to earth?
I learned by listening to people who have had near-death experiences. Returning depends on if we have learned what we're supposed to learn in this life, or if we need to continue into the next life.
What is God? Letter number 2. Heavenly Body, cloud number 10, Paradise, June 27th, 2052. Dear Heidi, you deserve the pink heart. Pink for unconditional love and ability to touch others. You are now immortalized in a book and a movie. Good job on the screenplay. You lived a full life. You've lived a full life. Things aren't bad here with the ascended ones. I played my harp several times in eternity. I also took up tuba lessons as it gives such a full sound that vibrates the heavens. I'm thin and healthy, have lots of energy, and I'm free. I have such joy and freedom that you will never know on earth. The advice I can give you is to let go of the fear, anxiety, and the blockages. Don't be afraid of your feelings. Just enjoy the process. The experience will be much more pleasurable. Love, Heavenly Body.
Okay, good job, everybody. A beautiful playwright, Heidi Lobstein. Thank you so much for your beautiful stories and your courage in sharing them. And thank you for your great reading. I think you're turning into an actress. It will ruin your life. No, it'll be great. And I want to say thank you so much to Carla Stebbs, our beautiful reader. Thank you so much. Just a pleasure to do this, complete with thunder in the background, Heidi. I wonder if that said anything about your writing.
It was applause.
Applause. So is there any little comment you'd like to make as we wrap up this section of your storytelling?
Well, just that the second time I went through the class and the writing, I was in a different place and able to process a little more. And thank you for your facilitating, Kate. It was just amazing how all these stories link together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't connect it myself. You know, it was interesting to see how they connected. And
Lovely. Thank you.
thank you.
And what's it like hearing it through someone else's voice?
Someone else is carrying some of the emotion. Like, I don't have to be alone in it anymore.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you. Thank you both so much. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Heidi. And on to the next one.
What is real? What is real? Your dreams? Your life? Your world? Is love real or something you wish was real? Is your life real or something you wish was real? Are your dreams real? Why is unreal so easy to see, taste, and feel when real is so elusive to us? Why do we live? Why do we die? What is in between? More so when your dreams are nightmares. Why is that so real when your life sucks? Why is that so real? Is this struggle real or unreal? I have no answers, so I guess I keep wandering through life, trying to figure out this question: what is real? Dialogues with fear.
Why do you torment me so? You keep me very stuck.
You better take a look in the mirror. I just am. You are the one that gives me life.
Why have you been with me so long? You say I give you life. No matter how I try, you never leave.
I think you're very comfortable with me. It gives you many reasons and excuses not to let go. Be real.
I do try, but you're much stronger than me.
Really? More excuses. You keep forgetting I've saved your ass many times.
Maybe you're right. I use you for the wrong reasons, not the good. The fear of going back to where I came from. You are a blessing to me. Thank you. I will be more aware of how I use you.
With courage.
Well, Courage, I don't think I could have made it here without your help. I would have given up a long time ago.
You give me too much credit. I'm the part of you that never gives up. I'm part of you.
I wish I didn't have to look so hard for you sometimes.
As fear has told you, all you have to do is look in the mirror. I'm part of who you are. I could not exist if I wasn't already in you.
Sometimes I give up looking for you. All seems hopeless, and then you find me.
I'm always here. You just have to look. Letters. Dear Dan, I see you working so hard to get away from me. Your accomplishments totally amaze me. Last time we were in this park together, you could barely find your way home, and look at you today. Don't downplay all the changes you have made in this last year. You have let other people into your life. You care so much more for us than you ever have. The counseling you stuck at, even at times when I tried so hard to drag you back down with me, it took a lot of courage. I don't think either of us knew you would get this far. Also, you have not forgotten me. I think that is very important. From your younger self. Dear Dan, well, this has been one heck of a life. I know you did not think you could continue on. Your fear of falling back was so strong. I thought so many times you would never sustain this journey. I am so glad we hung in there and accepted help from others, no matter how hard that was to do. If you had not done so, we would have missed out on the opportunity to help out at Heroes and Horses. It helped us so much. You not only made my life better, you shared your strength and hope with others. That gave so much meaning to them and their loved ones. I am so grateful for the wonderful life we have been given. From your future self. Garden walks. Walking in my garden yesterday. Everything is dying. Why did I not take care of it? I gave it no nourishment, no water, not even when I saw it turning brown. I did nothing. I just did not care if it lived or not. Well, it's all dead now. Why care? The smell of death and decay is everywhere. Screw it. Walking in my garden today. I am so disappointed with how poorly I took care of it in the past. It will be different this time. I will till it up, remove all the dead stuff. Already I can smell the earthy smell of fresh dirt, smells of newness. I'm going to add fertilizer to help the soil recover from the neglect before. I pray it's enough. I have some great seeds to plant and some water. Now wait. Walking in my garden in the future. It is so different. I've put so much time and care and effort into it. There will be some great food for me in the future. I am so proud of what I have accomplished.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ben, for that beautiful reading. And Dan, how lovely to have you back again.
Author.
Author.
I'll tell you, Ben, you bring it to life for me. It's so much different than reading it myself or reading it out loud. You just bring it to life. It just means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
I'm very happy to do it.
And this time, Dan, you read with us. So I want to ask you, what was it like to read yourself with Ben reading Fear and Courage?
So much more real. And I'm so glad, I don't know if you remember, but when I read you the fear dialogue, that you told me, well, try one in the opposite, in courage. You guys said, well, why don't you just try one in courage? And I'm so glad I did that. Because the first part was so negative. And then the second courage brought hope back.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Dan. I'm really enjoying this journey with you. We've done a few of these. And I think it's wonderful that we can be in Minnesota, right, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota and Arizona, and we can share these stories together. And Dan, I thank you for sharing them with so many of us.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Dan, for being very open and honest with this and be willing to share with it, because I get something out of it too, as you know, as an actor also, but also as a person.
Thank you.
Thank you. So stay well, my friends, and we're going to be going to the next one in our series. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Prologue, Imprints. Through the dark, constricted tunnel, from a melodic, cozy fluid cocoon, anguish. Strawberry temples pulled into bright lights, crisp air, this firstborn princess emerges. 16 months out, twin boys appear. Father's pride, mother's show. The princess, now Cinderella. Run away, little one. This place is stark mad. No room for dreams. You're the big girl now, don't you see? Dressed to impress, an extension of mom's ego, caretaker of her wounds, his princess for public eyes, off building his throne to escape his blue-collar reality. He's never there. I disappear.
The first nightmare, planted firmly within my big Catholic family. The match drops at my feet. The earth below cracks and breaks away. Now an island. Seeing shock in grandmother's eyes, I reach out for her. Too far gone. I'm alone. Tears flow.
5 now, standing stunned and weeping on the street in front of my new house. She didn't die after the scare. Neither did baby Sis. She was never meant to be. Mom's heart repaired by surgery. Mine broken by invisibility. I can't awaken her. Nowhere to go. I stand there, paralyzed. Friends now across town. Kindergarten in a new neighborhood is just too much. It all goes black. First grade. 90 miles from home, the big family and support. We're all alone. She's depressed and sick. A new baby and 3 now in school. An outsider. We had to leave. His throne must be built at all costs. The forest and valley in back are a sanctuary. 2 surgeries, a stroke, multiple stray animals, and foster kids later. She takes a bike ride one day and drops. She's 34, me 13. She's gone. No tears. The big girl here to take care of everyone. Stepmom moves in 11 months later with a new older stepbro and sis. Another move to build his throne announced 2 weeks before my senior year. How much more shock can I take? I'm out of here for good. Age 18, on a bus to US Navy boot camp. No daughter of his. Ha! Finally free, until landing in the clutches and beds of 2 older officer predators. One a charming, cheating Marine, the other a Navy doctor who helped me escape the clutches of the first, only to find myself 5 years later lost in his rabbit hole of drugs, sex addiction, and seductive Southern California lifestyle.
Age 27 meditation. In a cave with loved ones. It's all we've ever known. I discover a tunnel. Exploring, jump from an edge, fall to the water below, carried blindly in the darkness toward a light. Dropping further, I land on a pristine beach. Do I go back and report or stay? The floodgates finally open. The wretched sobbing begins.
Escape to Nepal, San Francisco, spirituality and consciousness studies, now with a graduate degree and new dreams.
Another nightmare. Climbing a mountain, 12 gates to the peak. The Grim Reaper blocks the entrance to the 7th gate. He turns to look at me. It's my one-day first husband.
Somehow pulled back. By 35, married to the doc's best friend, a daughter in my arms, darkness overcomes me. Lost in his SoCal world, who am I? Later, from my isolated mountaintop glass castle in Prescott, Arizona at 40, I leave, starting again from the bottom of the mountain. I find a groove, then meet Prince Charming, thanking God, what did I do to deserve such love? Married 10 months in, back to a castle with another child on the way. 43, sideswiped. This whale swallowed me whole. Didn't see this coming. Or had I?
And the recurring nightmare. Late for class, a test, not prepared. Where had I been during classes? Wandering halls, pulled away by distractions. I awaken in panic.
By 50, it all crumbles. Finally, Humpty takes the great fall. No putting this shell back together again. Journey inward. 57 trips around the sun. Act 3 begins following a dark night of the soul decade. Confidence shattered, fragility revealed, resiliency and courage realized. The wild child is invited to play. In her enchanted forest grotto, she is free to be natural, connected, playful, and real. Noticing a feather whispering its significance to her heart, she gathers it and holds it close for the journey ahead. The pristine beach landed upon at 27, revisited. A treasure chest washes to the white sugar beach as if awaiting her return. Gathering it, not yet ready to open it, she tucks it under her arm and keeps it close. A safe place is found. After several deep breaths and sinking into the heart space, a mystical jungle rainforest appears, complete with lush, ancient vegetation, playful critters, mossy rocks, a clear aqua pond capturing a majestic waterfall, behind which there was a secret gate. Entry granted only to one in vibrational match to the vine, glowing in recognition. When pulled, a mystical world is revealed. The wild child enters with her feather and treasure chest. The journey begins.
Letter 1. Dear current self from past self. No way to imagine where I would be after always on the brink of annihilation or self-destruction. Primed to perform, strive for perfection, and to please. In exchange for love. Never knowing to ask for what I really wanted, allowing their narrative to run me directly away from myself. All of the erratic behavior and blame, the victim vindicated, followed by a look in the mirror. What have I become? Nothing significant. I walked right into it. Oh, the shame, the humiliation, a real ego hit, and the ultimate joke. Nothing significant. The Buddha laughed. There's no opinions to try to live up to or suppress or surpass. And then I found you, presence itself, waiting patiently and lovingly for my return from insanity. Being a present, no body, here and now, open to the arising of this moment as it is. This is all you've ever truly been. Just notice.
Mountains, cliffs, and dreams. The view from the top of the mountain, surreal, vast, open, on top of the world, being with being, self with nature. Weather comes and goes, creatures appear and disappear, sister trees and vegetation cycle through their seasons, water pours and flows, a perfect musical symphony in perfect harmony. The highs, the lows, the silent pauses, speeding up and slowing down, quiet flow punctuated with booming crescendos, the orchestration of it all in play, ever dancing, changing, expanding, contracting, living and dying. But this ever-present isness, always already here, still, again, the one thing that never morphs. This I am that I am appears as this now. Jumping off the cliff, she gasps. This is it, the fabled leap of faith, the ultimate total surrender. Wherever it leads, okay, no going back now. Is there a bottom, an end, a new beginning, a never again? For how long will the fall last? Will it hurt and maybe crush this body to pieces? It doesn't matter. She watches the body falling into a bottomless black hole. Now released, she realizes, always suspecting, it never was who she is. Just a garment for maneuvering the physicality of the dream. Almighty creator dressed in drag, having a grand play with itself. Sometimes when I dream, I'm in another world, another life, another body. The dream feels like my true life, real, eternal, permanent, connected. This waking one feels like the dream, an illusion, fleeting, ever-changing. What is reality really but a perception, an awareness, a place our attention lives? When I dream, I'm free. There are no preconceived programs. It just is. I just am. And it's delightful. Yet something always pulls me back, sometimes abruptly, to this world full of roles, responsibilities, tensions, and others, these curious others. Fascinating. We all seem to be sharing some semblance of this shared collective dream. Or are we? Is this just my dream? A recurring drama? Like Groundhog's Day. As the world turns, tune in again tomorrow for another episode of Days of Your Life, the ongoing dream.
Inside this world, I am brave. We are brave. The mere act of birth, it's a courageous one. Confusing, stunning, exciting, heartbreaking. Here I am. Who is this I? This body? This name? Am I woman, friend, lover, mother, explorer, or nobody? Am I free? Am I enslaved? Says who? And who exactly are these they, those others? They're fellow beings like me, surviving, loving, loss, struggle, celebration. Nothing but empathy and compassion arise. And then a peek at human nature's shadow, power, control, sex, and money. What the hell, really? Little fragile eyes, separate, lonely, competing. Why do they do and say opposite of what I know they know to be true? Why do I? Can we all just see, really see? Remember, remember, remember who you are, little creative one. You're here to experience it all.
Here she is, Susie Cream Cheese. White toast with exotic spicy flair. Effervescent and invisible. Sensitive and brave. Misplaced in this world, with wings to fly, venturing out, trusting, shocked. Flying too close to the fire, falling fast. Broken wings and burned. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. Feeling annihilated, shamed, punished, tainted, humiliated. Now hiding and cocooned, a mere chrysalis turned to mush. Alchemy, transmutation, transformation, and transcendence. Who knew? The cracks are where the light gets in. Who am I? Who is this? What is this life, this experience? Surrender. Jesus, take the wheel. On my own, I'm spent. Curious, filled with wonder, new budding wings, resilient, intact. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Authenticity can put Humpty together again, this time with no shell.
Dialogue with High Self. I imagine you to be my innate wisdom, my intuition, which often gets drowned out by this ever busy mental chatter and these material world distractions.
Always here awaiting your attention. Life is a way of bringing you back.
No shit. Funny, isn't it? I actually believe I have control at times.
And who are you?
A very convincing, self-constructed story. In all innocence, though, we must play the hand we're dealt, and I've never felt prepared for the harshness of the game played here, nor understood it. Highly sensitive, they say. Flowing too close to the sun. Incinerated. Wings scorched to a crisp, only to rise like a baby phoenix out of the ash and rubble of my annihilated past lives. With time and contemplation, it seems that all players and experiences matter. The Tao Te Ching calms me. By leaving each other alone to self-regulate and figure out how we work together, it does somehow work. The lessons are many, and the growth, or lack of it, stunning.
Nice of you to notice.
Any words of wisdom?
Be still. You can't do it wrong. That's the true secret of the game. You came to play, look around more and marvel. This great mystery is unfolding itself. There's ultimately nothing to fear. It is only your identity with this body and your belief in unexamined thoughts that will lead you away from the light that I am here. Always have been. Be still enough to hear my guidance. I will take you on an adventure of spontaneous flow to exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. Surrender trying to control it all, my dear. And for God's sake, literally, stop taking yourself so seriously. You are here to love, create, serve, do no harm, be a good steward, play, have some fun, and relax. Enjoy the ride. Effortless action is the way to peace and happiness.
Letting go of the grip proves to be the hardest part. I can see when the taskmaster returns. She loves to run this universe. Thank you for another gentle knock. Please come in. Let's have tea daily. To remember not to forget you are here, I must tie a string around my finger.
Dialogue with Hat. When are you going to come out from under me? You've been hiding for too long now.
I know. I've been saying tomorrow. I'll get it together and get back out there. Sometimes I think I really want to put myself back into a social life again. Aspects feel attractive, but I'm just not sure I can actually handle it. You give me a safe place to hide when I do venture out, much like that bandana summer after my mom died. This time it was a bigger hit. I'm not ready to be fully exposed.
I'm not sure I'm your answer, sweetie. I've become too comfortable for you to hide behind.
Dialogue with Rage. Okay, Rage. I'm ready to hear you.
Why have you ignored me and pushed me down and out of sight for so long? You know I'm silently killing you on so many levels. You're such a coward.
Hey, wait a minute, you bully. If I faced you and let you spew your venom, things could go real bad real fast. Don't you remember? It's not safe to express the insanity and injustice of it all. They only come after me harder, with more force and more dire consequences. No, I will not let you have a voice in this. By submitting to their power and plays, I maintain open access and amicability. You know the score. Don't ask for child support and let them control the decisions. Then they leave me alone. It's always been a double standard with powerful rich men. You know that.
Fucking hypocrites. How are they able to get by with this? They have made up stories, taken things out of context, exaggerated and distorted reality to a point it's not even recognizable. They never honored your agreements, and you naively never put those agreements in writing outside of a mediator's office. You trusting fool. They have made your life a living hell. Tell me, how did you let them get by with this? How did the so-called justice system allow it?
You know the answer. Money and influence. It was never about love or what's best for the children, for them. It was always about image, influence, money, and power. Don't you see? This is what the world admires. I don't care about this world. I care about the relationships with my kids. I'm in this for the long game. Cliff is gone now. The cancer did his thing. I encourage the healing of his relationship with his daughter, and she is able to admire what was admirable about her dad. That is good for her soul. And she felt his adoration. This is good. He left her well set up for life. This is more important than how he treated me. Only 4 years left to play the game with the other. It gets easier with time. I have found serenity, enjoy my quiet life, have amazing relationships with my children. He has his empire and his young trophy wife who shares his values. He leaves me alone as long as I never bring up child support. Our son is thriving. This is what matters.
You still haven't dealt with me. I'm not going away. What happened to you was criminal. You not only went belly up and crawled under a rock to protect yourself from them, but you continue to hide from life, and you play small. You know you're not small. You're living a lie, and you know it.
I don't trust this world or the people who admire men like them. It all sickens me. It's not a game I'm interested in playing. I'm looking for my game. 4 more years, and I will find my way. As for you, I'm just not sure dialoguing with you will resolve anything. Your voice only makes my life worse. The only question now, considering all that has transpired and the state in which I find myself, is how do I heal enough to contribute something meaningful, enjoy the journey, and make the world a better place by playing my small part?
Garden of my past. Walking in my garden before, it was all about survival. But how in this confusing, barren land? Somewhere over the rainbow, there is a place for us, for those who see the folly of it all. There is a place which is honest, pure, natural, and real. Unlike this place of make-believe and pretending to be something other than who you truly are, saying things you don't really mean, acting as if for others or simply to fit in. This pretentious place where everyone declares how amazing the emperor's clothes are. No, he's naked. Can't anyone see? We're all doing fine, Richard defends. Maybe it's you who isn't doing well. Fitting into an insane society is not my definition of doing well. Somewhere over the rainbow, there is a place. I just know it. Garden of my present. Walking in my garden today, I'm closer to being me than ever before. A journey filled with hopeful dreams, brief successes, empty promises, betrayal, self-denial, and loathing. Playing small to keep boats from rocking. No more. Opinions are no more interesting than anuses. We all have one. Some smell only slightly less than others. Give me direct experience and clarity. This path to authentic sovereignty in the midst of chaos, confusion, and illusion is like Mr. Toad's wild ride. What a trip, this roller coaster called human life on planet Earth. I've learned to ride it in a state of curiosity and wondrous awe. Seatbelt off, hands up, bring it all. The highs and lows, loves and heartbreaks, integration and wisdom never felt better. The garden of my future. Walking in my garden in the future, it is serene, peaceful, full of diversity, grounded and delightful, well integrated, in deep dialogue with the totality of my being, filled with meaning. It is characterized by an abundance of harmonious diversity. Sorrow and fear are transmuted alchemically into wisdom, patience, compassion, and deep serenity, which comes from radical acceptance of life as it is, here and now, in this breath, and in this beating of my heart, now open, vulnerable, and steadfast. I'm grounded in understanding.
Letter 2, letter from future self. Dear one, there you are, so uncertain of where to begin. I appreciate your vulnerability and your anti-fragility, your intense passion to figure it all out. You ask, how can I help? How can I help bring sanity to the chaos of this world? I can still feel the burn of the question deep in my solar plexus. It's a soul cry. This taking on a human body at this time has to mean something, you proclaim. Yes, dear, and you will find when you put yourself out there and connect with others who have the same burning questions, things do happen. The healing has begun. The deep conversations, the shared desires. We are finding our way toward unity and connection, even harmonic diversity, where all unique perspectives are listened to. The tension keeps us alert and active. 2050 is a great place to be.
Epilogue. Impressions. Like the movie What Dreams May Come, pay attention. Life gives its clues. Heaven or hell is a state of mind, and that is the one thing that can be controlled with proper attention. The feather, a sign left by the phoenix rising. The treasure chest contains all of the unspoken things revealed only by the wild child from within her special place. Turns out she's pretty wise to boot.
Okay. So beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm just looking at Kelly's smiling face, and I want to thank Kelly so much for that fabulous writing. And I want to, yes, applaud the author. And I want to thank Louisa for her superb reading. And this has been it's been a great journey with you, Kelly. And I thank you for your vulnerability and your courage. And I just want to know any comments you want to make on this process and how it's been for you and what you're feeling right now.
Yeah. You know, I learned about this class because I wrote an article and heard about the process, and I said, hey, I need to do that. And so I had an idea, and it sounded like a powerful process just from hearing about it, but to go through it, there's no way to know. It's like going to the Grand Canyon. You can describe it, you can see pictures of it, but when you walk up to the edge and experience it, it does something to you. And this process has done something to me and my trauma healing story. And it has gone in and found hidden places of the pains and the mysteries and the joys, and the wild child really does just want to come out and play and be a child again and let all the trauma be learned from and then move on and get back into living. And that's what this experience has done. It's given the wild child permission to come out and just say, let's play again, let's live again, let's and to go through the process of writing it and then seeing it in a book and then hearing others perform and speak it. It's a magical process. It's a magical healing process. And
well, thank you, Kelly. And Louisa, thank you so much. I think Louisa was in the very first performing wellness we did back in 2000.
Yeah, wow.
So Louisa,
well, that's a real treat for me. And Kelly, your words are so beautiful that you have written, and I think it's so interesting you talk about the wild child in you and letting that out, because I could certainly feel that just from the imagery and the words you were using, and you're letting all that flow, and the beauty of all of those, the beauty of those feelings and thoughts, good or bad, that you poured out onto the page and just let that wild child live. It's really beautiful to experience that and to read it and feel that within myself then, because that's what it does for us who read it too. We actually then get to also experience that. So thank you for that.
And both of you, your acting, what's the word I'm looking for? The longevity of it, the professionalism of it. There's an innate skill and gift in what you've taken and done with my words that just adds another level of amazing richness to the experience. That I'm so honored and grateful.
well, thank you. And it was an honor to read you. I'm so glad I got to read you, Kelly. Thank you. So thank you very much for this writing and this performing. And so thank you, everybody. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.
Thank you.